to another edition of Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. And here's your host, Russ McClellan.
Hey, how's everybody doing in the land of wherever you're at? The land of post-COVID pandemic, maybe? Although there seems to be a lot of people getting COVID. My name's Russ McClellan. I'm the host of this radio show / YouTube channel / podcast. You know, when you turn 50 plus, you really lose track of all definitions because, you know, maybe later today I'll do TikTok. Or maybe not. So anyway, Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. And today I've got my producer JP, as always, who's also a real estate broker living large in Quincy. So if you have questions, call 888-0038. Ask for JP. He'll help you out in Quincy. And I have a brand new agent who signed with us yesterday from my hometown, drum roll, J.R. Cooper, a former Manson Trojan just like me. How you doing, J.R.?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, man, you just got that test. You passed it the first time. Boom. You know what I was telling you? Not that means anything. I've had some of our best agents fail it 5 times, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's just a matter of getting past that hurdle, right? And I have the lovely Isis Baena.
Hello, everyone.
Smiles pretty, but she carries a big stick, so don't mess around with her. I call it the velvet hammer from Isis. It looks soft, but she's amazing. She has broken all the recruiting records of our company, and she's been with us now. This is our 5th month, and we'll be pushing 60 recruits in 6 months.
Ain't that fun?
Shakalaka.
That's fun.
That's fun, man.
It's easy when you work with Keller Williams, though.
Why is it easy when you work with Keller Williams?
It's all about relationships, right? When you have a good product also, you have something, you're working with a company that you know actually cares about their community. Right now, I actually got a recruit yesterday she lives in Texas, and she sent me a message, and she said, your post about Robb Elementary School makes me want to switch to KW. Way to step up.
Yeah.
It's easy when you work with a company like KW.
Yeah, I just got chills. KW Cares is a program Gary Keller put together. So, I've been involved in it at one point with the hurricanes in Texas. I went down there and helped muck out houses that were flooded. That was wild. But one of the things people don't know right now, the Ukraine, we have market centers, which we call, that means office in Keller Williams language, our headquarters. Well, they're headquarters people, refugees fleeing Ukraine, and we have agents in Ukraine. So they're contacting agents in the surrounding countries, and they're putting them up in their market centers as safe havens for the refugees. What real estate company does that? That's wild.
Only us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the power, right? That's power, JR. We were talking yesterday when we met. Almost 200,000 agents, like 57 countries or something. You would be surprised how like-minded human beings really are. Mm-hmm. And if you surround yourself with like-minded people that are selfless and have generosity as part of their business model, business plan, it can be fun. So before we dive into JR, ECs, what else happened? What are we doing at our office? We're launching a new productivity program.
Yes, that's the one thing that I'm super, super excited about because, as you just said, we are gonna have more than 60 agents by the end of the year, right? We're breaking records. We have a lot of new agents, and what's so important is that our agents are trained, right? It's important that we're giving this type of service to our clients. So with this new productivity coaching program, we are very, very excited for our new agents.
So the shifting market requires, I call it the Etch-a-Sketch business plan. And for the people that are too young to know what that is, Google it. There's a little game you draw, and then you turn it over, and you shake it, and it's a blank slate. Sometimes you got to just stop, and you got to look up and out, not down and in. And down and in means you're grinding, right? That's a good thing to do. You got to grind. You got to work hard. But sometimes you got to see it from the 30,000-foot level and make sure your business plan is adjusting and adapting to different times. Because those people that do what they've always done and think what they've always thought won't always get what they've always gotten. And that's the advantage of having a Keller Williams company that has the best economists, the best financial advisors, the best training programs, because they're the biggest. And it's owned by one guy. So the dude is for agents, by agents all over, and we're a profit-sharing company. So we kind of have this classic, I call it the mafia mindset without the violence. So
that stuck to me yesterday. He texted me that yesterday, and I started laughing so hard. And I said, you know what? He's right.
It's like B school, baby. It's like B schools. We're all hanging together. Yeah, you're from a city and we're from like Mayberry, so it's fun that we
That, yeah.
we have we have a lot in common. That's the thing about people and nice people and kind people and selfless people. It doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter. We all have it in common. So
We have a common goal.
yeah,
so.
common goals. So maybe talk a little bit. JR's brand new, passed his license. Now, JR, you live in Wenatchee, but you grew up in Manson.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, tell me about yourself. What's been going on since go back to high school and then fast forward?
So I grew up in the Cheyenne Valley, graduated in 2007, and then after that I moved to California, which was a little bit of a culture shock, going from small town Manson with 35 kids in my class to a school with 1,500 people in it. But I went and got a degree in automotive and diesel technology. So I'm a certified diesel mechanic and auto mechanic. And from there, went and worked on buses and did the diesel mechanic thing for a while. And then helped do jet ski rentals on Lake Chelan. Kind of did the beach bum thing for a while and lived in board shorts and sunglasses, and then went into excavation and did dirt work, and then from there went and did DOT and highway maintenance and everything like that. And now I am transitioning into doing real estate.
Yeah, no, your mom, Bridget Cooper, is a beautiful human being. Your dad, Jamie Cooper, just two of the best people. I mean, they're just great people, right? And she's been in real estate for 3 decades too.
34 years.
Yeah, right. At Wapato Point. So what was it? You grew up around it. And what was it in your life that when the light bulb goes on one day and says, you know what, I think real estate now is the time, versus maybe why wasn't it the time in the beginning?
I look at it as it's kind of a new challenge in my life, and it's kind of an ever-changing field. There's not just one standard cookie-cutter example of everything that you can do, and there's so much that you can specialize in or transition into, and so I just thought it was exciting that it's kind of a new opportunity to do that I think is a very good lifelong job.
Yeah, when we met, one of the things you said to me, which I think resonates with a lot of people, when you work for the man, meaning you're working for somebody else, you don't really get paid more for working harder or smarter.
Yep.
In fact, sometimes you're working with people that maybe don't work at all, and they make more money, and there's not a hell of a lot you're going to do about it.
Yep.
And that's, last job I had, JR, was tilt-up construction with, I think I worked for Bethlehem Construction. I was making $7 an hour in 1986. That was the last job I had. And that's one thing I encourage people in real estate to do is have fun with it. When you're bringing value and you're bringing, you're really trying to help people, it's not sales. At that point, it can be, you really put the needs, what we call a fiduciary obligation. It's a legal term. It means that they trust us to know what we're doing, to be the expert advisors for them, and have their best interest above ours. And to me, that's the gift, man. It's like a give to get mentality, where I'm going to give you everything I got, and then in exchange, you're going to be happy to pay me, right? Because you won.
Yep.
And there's some, not so scrupulous people out there in the world, including real estate. Imagine that. So we owe it to them, man. We owe it to them.
Speaking about trust, Russ, that really resonates with me right now. Is I've been having these conversations with agents, right? If they're worried about a shift in the market, how am I going to help my clients? Trust right now is so important. And how you're servicing your clients, and that they trust you right now. Right, so I just kind of wanted to point back on that.
It's a great point. And it's like you have to dig deep in yourself, too, as leaders, right? One of the things I did recently, and JR, I had a lot on my plate, and I'm always saying I'm going to simplify, but for some reason, my life, I'm like, let's go.
You like to go.
So I've been doing this 32 years or so, and but, I woke up and I said, you know what? I had a few things I had to get off my plate. And the reason I was so focused to get them off my plate was so I can get back into helping people succeed. Because, where I find maybe my best value is helping use the failures, the many, many failures that I've made, help people avoid those pitfalls. a little bit. You know, we're all going to walk our own walk, and we all have our own path. But you know what? The difference between an adventure and an ordeal is attitude. And one of the things I can bring, man, and you'll see it, I'm going to be sword and a shield in the front of the line, working in this office, and the people that want to hook up their little wagon to me, I'm going to run it. Like I'm back in coaching and teaching, and I had to look myself in the mirror and go, you know, I've been failing my people. I've been failing. I've been delegating, thinking, okay, now I can go over here. But there's an old saying, you can delegate responsibility all day long, but you cannot delegate accountability. If you care about people, and I really do. So to me, it's like a relaunch of a market center. We're at 85 agents and climbing. But you know what? I think it's day one, right? I'm looking at like day one. If you can match the enthusiasm that I have, you're going to do all right, because I'm bringing it, brother. I'm bringing it. We come back on the next segment. I want to talk a little bit more about specifics about what the coaching program means, how East Baena is helping grow this market center at an unprecedented level, and how a shift is actually the best time to get into real estate.
Absolutely.
Not everybody thinks that way. Sometimes people think it's not easy, and it's not. It's a simple business, but not an easy business. But if you do the right things in the right order, great things can happen to you and your family. So we're right back with Russ McClellan, Home Sweet Home, in just a few minutes.
Keller Williams, you make dreams come true. Home sweet home, home sweet home.
Hey, this is Russ McClellan with Keller Williams. I want to talk to you about something. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel the financial pressures of the COVID virus? That was fun, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, real estate can be a game changer for you, and I'm here to help you. If you want to give me a call at 509-888-0038, I want to talk about your life and getting unstuck. We are growing rapidly. We're the fastest growing real estate company in all of North Central Washington. Give us a call. I want to help you. 509-888-0038.
With the new Keller Williams School of Real Estate, you can now get your license for free. Access tools, tips, and personalized coaching with Keller Williams' award-winning training programs, and start off your career in real estate the right way. K-Score is 100% online and entirely free to students, with pre-licensing curriculum geared toward placing aspiring agents on a direct path to licensure and profitability. With K-Score, we're not just unlocking the door, we're opening every door to anyone that's ever dreamed of starting their career in real estate. We're making a difference for you so that you can make a difference for others. Now available for all individuals in Washington. Your future awaits. Enroll today.
We're excited. We got a lot of people signing up, so give us a call, 509-888-0038, or simply email us at joinus@kwncw.com. Let's go from being stuck to unstuck.
You're tuned to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends. Now back to Russ.
I have my team leader, an extraordinary human being.
Thank you.
I have loved getting to know. Yeah, I've known you, how long? Like 5 months? 6 months?
5-6 months now.
Yeah.
Feels like I've known you 5 years.
Yeah.
And Kelly.
Yeah. It's funny how people have a lot in common and be completely, you grew up in California, I grew up in Manson. I'm just like,
I was born in Mexico. My first language was Spanish.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And me
I'm the
hablo
oldest.
español es muy poquito.
Mi español está muy bien. Gracias.
De nada. No, seriously, man, that's a good deal because we have our head team leader speaks Spanish fluently. So that's the cool thing about a profit sharing company as well. You know, there's different cultures. We have equity, inclusion, and diversity that Joanna's heading up. And,
Yeah.
You know, she has like 15 people in school.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's absolutely fantastic, and she has a true passion for in her her own mission statement, and I love this because she knows it like this is to help the under deserved, right? The people who don't have
Underserved.
resources. Yes, it's her mission to help those people.
Yeah.
Right? She does these first time home buyer classes. All of this knowledge that she gives back to her community, it's so inspiring and it's so beautiful. That's why she's the perfect person to be the ambassador for that.
Yeah. So, Jay, I know you played football in high school.
Yep, that I did.
Yep. So did I. B8 football, man. That was the best. You play 11 man? Or
Yeah, we had 11 man.
Yeah, you're like big school. I had 22 kids in my class. You're like 35. You're like a metropolis.
Yep.
Yeah, so I look at football, playing football in high school is a lot like selling real estate. You know, it's you have timeouts, you got water breaks, got first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and if you start acting like you're all that in a bag of chips and think you're going to play a prevent defense, and next thing you know, you lose, even if you're up by 3 touchdowns. It's like, or 8-man up by 6 touchdowns, and we still could lose. You know,
Yep.
and I just, it was my favorite sport. Loved it. Played in the Tacoma Dome. Great times. But it's a lot like being self-employed. And that's one of the things that people forget about this business is that you're an entrepreneur. And that there's not going to be somebody telling you when to get up and when to go to bed. And, you know, it's a little different program than working as a W-2 because as an employee, you get paid for time. As a real estate broker, you get paid for, closings. So it's kind of like, you gotta grind. And you got to plan for the worst, hope for the best. You got to live on the low, invest on the high, and then develop habits that serve you. And I mean, at times that can seem kind of daunting, right? I mean, here we are, interest rates are climbing. You know, who knows what's going on politically ever, and the war in Ukraine. There's a lot of coming out of COVID. There's a lot of uncertainty, right? But I love how you're just said, I'm ready to go. So what do you think is what drives you? To help want to be in the service business of helping people with homes and properties?
I think there's a lot of different challenges going on right now. So trying to find a investment property for a house or a first time home for people or a retirement home or, just a getaway place is kind of exciting. There's all kinds of different things that you can get into and look at and find and just help people.
Yeah. Well, and the good news about being learning-based, first of all, if you're learning-based, you're not ignorant-based because those are the only two options. So if you run around people, I told you this the other day, if you're around people that think they know everything or are unwilling to admit when they fail, run away. Just run away because ignorant-based people, they suck. They're going to drag you down. Or negative people. Negative people suck. The thing about mindset is we choose to get up, but it's not easy, man. There are things that are hard to do. I mean, it's hard to be motivated, and it's truly the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat sometimes in this business. You'll have a deal going 2 months, day of closing, somebody goes out and buys a Porsche, and now their debt-to-income ratio is no good, and they're like, you couldn't have bought the Porsche a week later? Like, really? It's just a crazy game, and right now there's a lot of stressed out people out there, so I used to say that nitro and glycerin by themselves are fine. That's a drama-based person, and a drama-based person, they're all right. But you put those two together, and boom, nitroglycerin becomes something very powerfully ugly. Yep. Well, we are here to be counselors as much as we are to be expert advisors, because right now the world's a little bit strange, as we know. And so, again, our training is as much about mindset as it is anything. And that's why we got Fletcher Ellingson on board to help with some business coaching, life coaching, mindset coaching, along with the tactics and strategies that I'm going to be bringing at a high level with this brand new program. So, Isis, how would you describe it? I mean, you met with Rob, and how would we explain it to people that are like maybe they're struggling in real estate, or maybe like JR, they just got their license, or maybe we're talking to somebody that's in a dead-end job that they can't stand, and they're like, I haven't even started taking a class yet, but I'm into it. I got to do something.
Yeah, this new productivity coaching program that we have, oh my gosh, so excited about it. To make it really simple, and what the takeaway that I took from Rob from his meeting is their goal is just to make you profitable, to make you money within the first 60 days, not 90 days. Because typically, right, first-year agents, it's really difficult. There's so much that you need to learn within contracts, the law, scripts, role playing, right, transaction coordinating. If you've had that support, it's going to be that much easier for you. You're going to give much better service to your clients. You're going to get that first deal in 60 days. You might get another deal in 90 days, right? Those are the agents that are going to be happy, that are going to make a difference, that are going to stay with us and help our office grow. So super excited about that, and even more so because our coach is going to be Russ. Russ volunteered to be your coach.
Perfect.
So how does that make you feel, knowing that you'll be working with Russ?
I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
It's a different level. You know, what I bring is a lot of lessons that I've learned over the years. And my dad, Don McClellan, I don't know if you knew my mom and dad very well, but they're kind of icons, and work ethic was not a problem for either one of those. So, you know, I was able to adopt, and I got very lucky through, bankruptcies and divorce, and I've made a lot of mistakes, man, a lot of mistakes.
Life.
Yeah. And, but I kept grinding, you know, I just didn't quit. And, you know, sometimes this instant gratification world that we live in is not realistic.
Yep.
You know, and for some reason, people, you know, when we grow up, or when people grow up, and I feel like this maybe started, 15, 20 years ago, maybe it's my generation's problem that we did it, but helicopter parenting, and everybody got a red ribbon, and you know, life's full of rainbows and sunshines, and there's no werewolves out there. Well, there are actually wolves that are waiting for you. And when you get in the real world, and all that support system goes away, and the school system kicks you out, and then boom, depression's a real thing. Like, my most extreme moment is mine. Your most extreme difficulty in your life is your most extreme. Same with ECs. So we can't judge what that looks like or feels like, because we're all different, right? I try to run a marathon today. The way I've worked out, I'd die in about 30 seconds, right? That's the way I've been working out.
I'd make it to my pickup.
Yeah, make it to the fridge and back, and I'm breathing hard. So I got to change that. That's one of the things I got to change in my life. So, you know, setting goals and then helping each other with accountability. That's one of the things that coaching is all about. Yeah. Because the reality is this: there's always room for talent. There's always room for integrity-based people that care about people, that are going to do the right things in the right order, and be learning-based, you know, have a mindset that I'm a sponge, man. Because I do. I mean, I listen to ECs. I'll learn from you. I learn from every single person. I'm the first one to say, you know, red light, green light. That idea sucked. Like, I had another idea on a productivity program, and it didn't work out. But guess who I blame? Moi. Because that accountability program. You know, I have to say, all right, I screwed all my agents that wanted a program for about 90 days. So is it okay that I recommit to that? Or should I try to make excuses? I mean, I'm a recommitter. Yep. I mean, I'm just one of those guys, and I said, okay, man, my life has to change. So this is just an example of, I got to get that off my plate and that off my plate, and then I can be laser focused on getting back into what I love doing the most. And I've learned this over the years, is that I feel the best when I'm helping other people. I mean, there was a time, I don't know if you know my story at all, but there was a time where I had more money than I thought I deserved in my hometown doing real estate before the recession. Driving the big fancy car, lots of houses, lots of boats, you know, lots of this,
He was
lots
in
of
his
that.
prime.
Yep.
You know, what's up, amigos? You know, and then all of a sudden, I wasn't humble enough. And so life decided to humble me, and it was called the Great Recession.
That will happen.
So then I lived on my couch for 2 years with Mason coming over, go back and forth with his mom, and, you know, I couldn't afford a house and an office. So I just turned, my office was my gym, my office, my house, you know, it was just, that's what I had to do. And then it took years after that to finally realize that even though when I was making more money than I deserved, for sure, I was pretty miserable. You know, got divorced, drinking too much, getting too many scraps in the old local bars back in the day, you know. Just being an idiot, right? Even though I had money, you know? So again, it's like, when I look back, I could beat myself up on that and go, I made all these mistakes. Or I could say, okay, what was I really missing? Why was I miserable? Because I thought money meant happiness. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't always mean. I thought it was like a scorecard. You know, money's just a scorecard. So if I'm doing, you know, if I win the football game, if I make money, then I'm winning. Not necessarily true. So for me, this company's been great, because I can literally, with the systems, tools, models, and technology that Keller Williams, the largest franchise on planet Earth, brings, I can manipulate that to some degree to focus on North Central Washington and add in all the lessons that I've done, because I was an idiot many, many times. And I'm a risk taker too. You know, sometimes I'd just be bad at hell straight into a brick wall at 800 miles an hour. And then go, oh, that was not very smart. So I'm kind of dumb, you know, and then get up, but I try it again, and I try it again. So now we can share those things, and that's what I'm excited to share with you. All right, when we come right back with our third segment with our team leader, Baena, and J.R. Cooper.
Gracias.
Keller Williams, you make dreams
Hi, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner and designated broker of Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hey, thanks for tuning into our show each and every Saturday morning. I wanted to share the fact we have over 50 real estate agents, and there's a reason for that. Mainly, it's relationship and culture. You know, sometimes people definitely look at the money and the commissions and the splits, but at the end of the day, it's about relationships, trust, that familial connection that you have at Keller Williams. That's what we strive to do, and that's how we look at our clients. We now have offices in Brewster, Chelan, and Wenatchee. We have agents in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee and Cashmere and Leavenworth, Chelan, Brewster. Really having a good time. So if you're interested in learning about why is Keller Williams Realty growing as fast as we've grown and have as many agents that are focused on their clients as we do, give us a call at 509-888-0038 or just stop by and see us at 1111 North Mission Street right here in Wenatchee. Hey, this is Russ McClellan. You know, we started our real estate company, Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington, in the spring of 2018. We've grown to be the largest real estate company in North Central Washington, and there's a reason for that. We attract people that want to keep the vast majority of the money they earn because they deserve it. We attract people that know that Keller Williams is the most advanced education and training real estate company and the largest real estate franchise system on the planet. We're in approximately 55 countries with approximately 170,000 agents with the most advanced technology in a world that is driven by the digital age that there is in real estate. We also, if that's not enough, profit share at 49% above a predictable expense line monthly. If you're interested in learning more about Keller Williams Realty NCW, give us a call today at 509-888-0038 and let's talk real estate. Have a great day.
You're listening to Keller Williams Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends. Now back to the show.
I have J.R. Cooper from Manson, now Wenatchee. Welcome, sir.
Glad to be here.
I'm honored to be in business with you. That's a nice thing about being a profit-sharing company. We're all in business together, you know. And so we have a goal that every month we're going to try to kick some money to people and inspire people to grow the company. So, but it's cool to have a fellow Manson Trojan in the midst, and Baena, our incredible team leader, who's breaking records. Like I think you're in the top 2% of all of the Northwest per capita anyway on agent count. You've recruited 5 agents a month since you started. That's crazy.
It is crazy, actually, when I think back. I'm like, oh, gosh, where did I find all these people?
Yeah.
But like I said, they come to us, right?
Yep.
It's our agents' friends, our agents' families. It's people that listen to the radio, right? It's people that saw us on Facebook and they're interested.
Yeah, the thing about this, JR, I'll talk to this about. I talk about this a lot with everybody, but there's a difference between having an abundant mindset and a scarcity mindset. Mm-hmm. When I started in the business, my goal was to put people out of business. I didn't know that was being a jerk. I didn't know that was being limiting beliefs. I didn't know that was a scarcity mindset. I was just like, there's a winner and a loser.
You're being competitive.
Yeah, there's no ties in football, baby. There's no ties in basketball.
Yep.
We're going to play overtime. And so that was my, and I started when I was 19, right? So when I first started, I was like just hell-bent for let's win. But, now it's not that way at all. I believe in an abundant mindset where the pie is infinite. I want everybody to do well. And I don't think that's taught in every company. I think that's a culture thing, right? And one of the reasons that Keller Williams is so big is we profit share probably, and we bring all these tools and systems and tech and training. But most importantly, I've gone a lot of places in the country and in several other countries, and all the Keller Williams agents I've met have an abundant mindset. Like they're willing to help you. And I don't care if it's the guy making $100 million a year or the guy making $5. It's just like, this is what I'm doing. This is how it works for me. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And that way, not that we're not in competition with each other. We are. We might have 5 Keller Williams agents going on a listing appointment to all get that listing. It's competitive, right? But it doesn't mean like, you know what, you got that. It's not like that because the pie is infinite. Not everybody believes that. Even in a shift, when things get strange, I actually think they can get easier. And our training program, I'll show you what I mean by that, because you get kind of sniper focused. And so often people go to work all day, but you could ask them when they go home, well, honey, what'd you do today? Worked hard. Oh, really? What'd you do? Like, how'd you make money?
Yep.
Well, I was at the water cooler, and then I checked my account, my stock, and then I went to the bathroom, had lunch with somebody. We talked about the races. Then I came back and I checked my stocks again. And then I was looking at all the news. I went down a couple rabbit holes on YouTube, and then, man, I was just it was exhausting.
Sounds like a fun Sunday.
I was just say that sounds like a Tuesday.
Yeah, right? Any day that ended in Y, people are checking their email 400 times a day. So there's some tricks. Check your email twice a day or 3 times a day at the most. So you're focused working. And those are kind of the real life, practical things you need to do that other people aren't going to do, and you're going to jump ahead of them. Because some of the best people in real estate are the newest people in real estate. We have a girl in our company closed a deal every 3 days, in her 3rd year of being in real estate. All year, every 3 days, bang, 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 bang. She's a mutant.
That's a sniper. That's sniper focus, like you're talking about.
Yeah, she's intense, but you know what? She's also doing mindset coaching. I've been mindset coaching for a long time. I mean, these are things that some people are like, I don't need that. Those are the people that need it. That are closed-minded.
Yep.
Those are like the bullies that are just insecure. That's why they pick on people, right? As soon as you pop them in the nose, they don't like picking on you anymore. It's funny how that works.
I think the biggest value that for a new agent also is I think that Keller Williams does a really fantastic job in teaching you guys how to think like a CEO.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that I'm excited about with Keller Williams is the training aspect of it. I don't feel like it's a traditional real estate company where here's your desk and go for it. There's a lot of training that's involved that helps a new agent like me figure out all the ins and outs that I need to know about.
Yes.
Yeah, accelerating your success. And it's good for everybody. The thing about, it's like working out. I can't even count how many times I've been in shape and then not been in shape. Like, if I know when I'm in shape, I feel better.
Same here.
I look better. I feel better. I have more energy.
Some days round is a shape.
Yeah. Man, my son was like, we have that McClellan belly. So, that's not a good thing. Like, we need to work
Gonna
on
make that into a T-shirt for you.
Yes.
Yeah, but the question is, why do we,
idea right there.
Yeah, why do we do that to ourselves? This is the weird part about psychology, right? There's a book called The Happiness Advantage. I brought it from NJP, gave him a copy today. Sean Aker is the author, and he actually was a speaker at one of our 2 conferences a year that we meet. I think we met, where was that? We went
Family reunion in
Yeah.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida this year. So he was the speaker, and he just talks about how to, like, real life practical ways to get yourself out of a funk, right? And right now there's a lot of people kind of like not sure. Well, one way is to take action. But I was going to ask you, like, what are some of the things, I know how I felt when I was 19, but, and my first, you're not 19, but when I first got in the real estate business, what are some of the things that you have questions about, or is there something that you're wondering about?
I don't know, probably one of the things that I'm curious about right now with being a new agent and not really knowing, I kind of know what the market looks like, but not really knowing what the market looks like. And with interest rates raising and everything, what do you think over the next 6 months to a year? What do you think the market's going to tend to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yogi Berra, famous baseball coach for the Yankees, he was famous for saying things like, "You'd be a lot better if you weren't so crappy." Like those kind of quotes.
Yep.
So he said, predicting things is very, very difficult, especially about the future.
Oh,
you know? But to your question, I think rates are going to go to 7 to 8% over time. Which, believe it or not, when I got in the real estate business, they were at 10. So we've just had unprecedented rates. I think there's going to be a shock and awe factor for people that have bad habits based on solid markets.
Correct.
And they just got the benefit of that. So you're going to see casualties in the real estate business if they don't make adjustments. Because being adaptable and adjusting your business model and your business techniques sometimes is warranted, especially if you've developed bad habits. And you can get away with bad habits in a great market and do okay, right? So although the market shifts, what happens is agents get out of the business. And that's an opportunity. And then it's also, when you're brand new, is the opportunity to develop good habits. Good, what activities are you really doing, and are they providing you either time or money or both? Because that's the goal, right? We want to give you as much time as we can give you and help you make as much money. And part of that is just getting your mind around it, right? So when someone says, like, what's your goal? Well, my goal is 100,000 a year. Seems to be the blanket answer everybody gives me.
Yep.
How about if we broke that down into helping 2 families a month? That's 100,000.
Yep.
Maybe more sometimes, because our average commission is like $14,000 on an average sales price at 6%. So to me, it's like, can you get motivated as a big why? Can you get motivated to help somebody and their kids when you're tired, or you're working a second job, or or for whatever reason you stayed up late? What's going to get you? What's your big why? What's going to keep you motivated? Not when you feel perfect, but when you're a little under the weather, or you're feeling down or depressed. Like, how are you going to plow through the road? That's the difference maker. Just really getting angry about it in a positive way, and help those families. When that's what I do. I just like, I think about people that I could be helping right now when I'm screwing off. Now, if you want to screw off, the key is the time block screwing off.
Yep.
Be strategic with your day.
Yep.
If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. And you know what? That's a work in progress for me all the time. I fight that all the time because I like to wing it. Well, wing it sucks.
Yep.
Right? That's reactionary. That's not good. So, yeah, I think the market's going to be challenging, but, in a more balanced market, that also opens some things up. One of the problems when you're in an extreme seller's market and you have no inventory is people might want to sell their home and tap their equity, but what are they going to buy?
Yep.
They're going to be in a worse position.
Yep. Yeah, and I know a few people that are in that spot. They're like, we have a lot of equity in our house, and we could make a great profit off of our house, but I can't go buy anything.
Right. So then there's this balanced time, right, where you go from extreme seller's market to more of a balanced market, and then it shifts this way. And this happens over and over and over again.
Yep.
About every 10 to 12 years, something happens. Sometimes it's a correction. Sometimes it's a recession, like 2008, big one. And then like 1928 was a Great Depression. And then in between there's wars and then all kinds of stuff. But it's not new. Life happens, right? The journey, like, we're not after a destination, right? The destination is your dead. That's your destination. Enjoy the journey.
Yep.
One of the quotes I love is, there's 2 dates that matter and a dash in the middle. Make the most of the dash. So what we try to do is regardless of the market, people are buying and selling.
Yep.
Yeah,
I believe even in a bad market that if you put the work in, you can sell something.
Absolutely. It got me through the Great Recession when like 80% of the banks went out of business in one day, it felt like. I had a finance degree, and I started learning about creative owner financing with land. So, sometimes when you have inflationary pressures, people like to put their money in land rather than the markets because they're a little bit unstable. The dollar's devaluing. Well, they're not making any more dirt, like Grandpappy said, right? So, learning how to finance things. And that's some of the cool things about being in this game in our hometown, Lake Chelan Valley and now North Central Washington for 30 plus years, and going through some of that where I've been bankrupt. I've had to dig deep, I had to learn stuff that if it was just cakewalk, I might not have learned. And if I hadn't have failed, I don't think my life would be as rewarding as it is now. And I love teaching. So, yeah, it's a great question, but just know that we can make money in any market if we do the right things in the right order. And we have a great team around us. Kelly, Isis, Emily. I mean, there's so many leaders that'll help you. And I look forward to you meeting them. We're a big family here at Keller Williams. I appreciate you guys coming in. When we get right back, PrimeLending for our 4th and final segment of the day.
Keller Williams, you make dreams come true.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to everybody that participated in the Teddy Bear Corral for the last few months. We literally were able to raise money and donated teddy bears to the tune of hundreds. And a little secret, it wasn't just teddy bears. There were stuffed animals of all kinds, from flying dragons to pigs. You know what? Kids are already feeling it. I appreciate it. Keller Williams was a major sponsor with PrimeLending, and we just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done for our first responders so they can help our kids.
With the new Keller Williams School of Real Estate, you can now get your license for free. Access tools, tips, and personalized coaching with Keller Williams' award-winning training programs, and start off your career in real estate the right way. K-Score is 100% online and entirely free to students. with pre-licensing curriculum geared toward placing aspiring agents on a direct path to licensure and profitability. With K-Score, we're not just unlocking the door, we're opening every door to anyone that's ever dreamed of starting their career in real estate. We're making a difference for you so that you can make a difference for others. Now available for all individuals in Washington. Your future awaits. Enroll today.
We're excited. We got a lot of people signing up, so give us a call, 509-888-0038, or simply email us at joinus@kwncw.com. Let's go from being stuck to unstuck.
You're enjoying the Real Estate Show, Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Here's more with Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Man, that was a great show. Great 3 segments. And now, as usual, the grand finale is with Michael Maher and PrimeLending. How you doing, Mike?
Good. Happy to be here, Russ, and spread some knowledge about what's going on in the mortgage industry right now.
Yeah, well, happy birthday month, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, calling in live from Nashville, Tennessee. No.
I turned the big 6-0. Oh, no, 3-0.
Oh,
30.
Yep, cut that in half.
Not 60. So, hell, you got a lot of, you got a lot of room to roam. You're doing good. Well, I just thought we'd dive in. The economy is strange. The interest rates are climbing. Gary Keller says 7 to 8%. That's where we're going to hit. What are you guys hearing?
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I mean, over the last few months, it's gone up significantly just from the beginning of the year. And, it tapers up and down, but it's trending upwards pretty substantially. And we've actually come up with some pretty creative options to keep people in affordable housing and make sure that we can try and keep their payments, lower so that they can afford to buy a home. And then, I'm excited to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, well, let's fire away because, we talk about this a lot, but when you're renting, you're paying 100% interest.
Yep, exactly.
So 6, 5, 4, 7. The key is lifestyle choices, and maybe you don't need the mansion right out of the gates.
Exactly, yeah.
So what are some of the things you're doing for people right now that are feeling frustrated because it was at 3% a couple seconds ago, and now we're at, 4.5 or 5? Something like that?
Yeah, so when we dive in, aside from looking at budget and what people are maybe getting pulled out for their paychecks as far as taxes and figuring out to free up cash flow on people's income, we have one strategy that we're really trying to educate people on, and that is with what's called interest rate buy downs. And we're in this transitionary phase where we are seeing some seller price reductions, maybe not extensively, but it's happening more and more. And I think as rates continue to increase, we're going to start to see a little bit of leveling off. But one way that we're educating people on is interest rate buy downs. And what I mean by this is, initially, if a buyer's coming in and they want to ask the seller for a price reduction, let's say in the case of $15,000 or $20,000, well, that sounds good as on face value. So let's say it's a $100,000 purchase price and they say, okay, we want to offer you 80. Well, the payment when you do that doesn't change very much, and it's not really the best use of those funds. So what we're encouraging people to do is, rather than ask for a price reduction, you ask for seller paid closing costs or a permanent interest rate buy down. And what that does is you offer, let's say, a full price, if it's $100,000 purchase list price and you offer $100,000, but then you ask the seller to kick back, let's say, $15,000 or $10,000 in seller paid closing costs. You can use those funds to permanently buy your interest rate down at the expense of the seller, and you will your net payment will be significantly lower than if you were to ask for a $20,000 price reduction. And this is a very important topic to talk about because for the longest time, everyone's so focused on price, but you can use those funds and a strategy to end up having a much lower payment.
Yeah, we're in a weird place in this where we live. We get boosted by Seattle money, And we still, unlike the 2008 crash, where we had an oversupply, we are still short of houses. And it's not an easy fix. So if you're seeing appreciation still, which is slowing down for sure, but in that, under $600,000 point, we're still appreciating. I think the numbers were down from like 16, 17 to 9 and, over a few months. So it's changing, but over the long run, real estate has historically always appreciated. And so even in 2008, when markets crashed, we just told people don't lock in your losses. If you don't have to sell, don't sell. So if you can get in, just get in the game. You're doing good, and being structurally creative on how we write the deals and working closely in a partnership with lenders. Literally, if you're using a lender and they haven't offered what Michael just talked about, you have the wrong lender.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's that simple. If you have a situation where your lender's only versed in what they've always done, market conditions change. So you should be getting educated by your mortgage broker to such a degree that you have the opportunity to make these choices for yourself. But if you don't know what you don't know, then there's no way you're going to do it. So it's one of the things I love about what you guys do at PrimeLending is you really develop a relationship, and you talk about options, and you talk about creativity, and being aggressive and creative are not bad words, right? I mean,
not at all.
So, yeah, and I think we're going to be faced with this for a while. So make sure your real estate broker and your lender, preferably Michael or Sharon at PrimeLending, are talking to you about solutions to your debt to income ratio, solutions to your actually monthly payment. Because in the long run, real estate is a great game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other thing that we always talk about, Michael, is the creative programs. Sometimes you can go out and buy a house, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath Rambler for $450,000. There's only about 250 people that want to buy that house, right? Yep. Well, so what if you go out and you buy a 1-bedroom house on a nice lot? There's no better way to raise equity than to add square footage, correct?
Correct. You got it.
So maybe you could explain why would somebody buy a 1-bedroom house on a nice lot if they had 3 kids? Why would they do that?
Well, they would do that because there's this creative option called renovation loan or enhancement loan, like we like to refer to on this show. And basically what that allows you to do is stack in the cost of adding another bedroom, adding another bathroom, adding a shop, an accessory dwelling unit, so like a mother-in-law, and basically building in the equity and seeing the ugly duckling for what it is or what it could be, and creating your own equity in a market where these very competitive priced homes are going very quickly. So basically just seeing what the home could be and jumping on the opportunity that the renovation loan gives you to make your own equity, and not necessarily just equity, but to make the home how you want it. So whether you want to put a new roof on it, flooring, paint, like I said, shops and other things, the sky is really the limit when it comes to these programs.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is if you buy the house that's already done up perfectly, you're going to pay retail. I say imagination equals equity. So if you don't need any skill sets in the imagination game because the house is perfect, then you're going to pay full boat. But and therefore the guy that fixed it up had the imagination, and he gets the equity, or she gets the equity, or they get the equity. But if you're the buyer that uses the enhancement loan, and you come in and you buy a piece of crap, as long as it's got good bones and you get the right estimates from the good contractors, then you have equity because you're seeing it. You have the imagination to see what it could be, not what it is. And then you have a loan at PrimeLending that says, all right, I'll cash out that seller at $250,000, and then I'll have $100,000 because I qualify to $350,000, and I'm going to add 2 bedrooms, and I'm going to add a new kitchen, or I'm going to add a swimming pool, or I'm going to do a shop or an ADU, accessory dwelling unit. And then all of a sudden, when you're done, you have instant equity even in a seller's market. So what's weird is if you pulled 100 realtors or 500 realtors or 1,000 realtors, how many of them would say if somebody came to them and said, I want to buy a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom house, I have 3 kids, How many of them would say, well, I think that may not be the right plan for you. You should buy a one-bedroom house. They'd probably slap them, right? But that's how I do it. I like, look, man, if you want to pay retail, pay retail. If you want to end up with a hell of a lot less of a monthly payment, then let's get creative, because creative and aggressive are not bad words. And Michael at PrimeLending has the program to do it for you, including my son, Mason, who got out of the Marine Corps as a sergeant. No way he could buy a house in Chelan, but you know what he did? Bought a 95-year-old house that needed remodeled, but it happened to come with 3 city lots. Next thing you know, he got an enhancement loan, closed on it, and he used the remaining funds to put a new heating and cooling system in it, put a new septic system in it, and bam, he has equity, even in an extreme seller's market, like Chelan. So it works. Personal testimonial. It's cool, and you guys know how to do it. I mean, it's not the old school loan where that FHA, whatever that loan was back in the 80s.
No, it's a 203K. Everyone always seemed to think that was just a nightmare loan, but if you work with a lender that's done it and knows how to do it, it can go very smoothly. And if you have good contractors, the process is pretty seamless. And what's nice is, and a lot of people may not know this, is the work happens after you close. So you can still do a 30 to 60 day close, the seller gets paid off, and then the work can start after. And if you're like Mason and you got friends, you can do some of the work maybe yourself and pay them with pizza and beer, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and he did too. He had great friends that helped him out for a long time. So,
that's awesome.
You just have to get creative, and that's what, it takes a village sometimes to buy a house.
Exactly.
All right, man. Well, is there anything else we should be telling the general public? Got about 30 seconds left and we'll be done.
Yeah, no, I'd say don't pay attention to interest rates too much. If now is a good time to buy for you and it's something you're wanting to do, just call us at 425-760-8824 and just have a conversation. Don't listen to the news. A lot of it's always fear-based. Actually have a conversation with us and we can give you an idea of what the market's actually doing and how your situation can be creatively tweaked for what you guys are going through or what the individual is going through.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, thanks a lot. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everybody else, I appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you next time on Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan, and Friends.
It's a bright new day just came my way. I bought a new home. Yeah, home sweet home. Oh, home sweet home. Keller Williams, I love my dream home. Yeah, I love my dream home. Home sweet home.